Alright. Hello, hello? Hello, 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 hello. Where are my headphones? Well, depending on today, I may or may not need them. Alright. Hi, welcome to stream. And man, this week has been busy for me. So busy. And I got like an entire month basically to just do whatever the heck I want for Christmas break. And am I utilizing this time to my advantage? Absolutely not. My room is a mess and so is my mind. It is bothering me. But to get it clean, I need to use money. Money that I'm trying to sparingly use, more or less. Get over here. I'm not sure what to do today exactly, I'll be honest. I thought of like working on my overlay a bit more, but I'm like, nah, my wrist needs to rest. But then I'm like, we could play cool math. Nah, no one knows what that is. And so I'm just like in this spiral of being like, we should do this. Nah, let's not do that. We should do this. Nah, let's not do that. But before starting the stream, I did got into the mojo of drawing, and so I must listen to the mojo. I must follow the mojo. And thus, we shall draw. It's been a while since I did a chill and draw video, so might as well get that done. Alright. Why are you not going further down? Thank you. Ooh. What does that? Man. I need to like put a tarp or something. Like underneath my bed because it creates so much dust you would not believe. I have a loft bed and that's where my computer is. I'm learning it's probably not the best place to have electronics because dust is kind of the bane of their existence. And here I am, having it in probably the most dustiest part of my room. But hey, you make do with what you got, right? I mean, I would put it on my table, but like, my table is an art table, meaning that the desk can turn, like, I think the highest position it has is, I think it's like 75-degree angle. It can turn pretty high, and also it's made out of glass. So I'm not exactly the most comfortable putting what's like, I mean, it's not too heavy. I think it's like probably like 5-10 pounds maybe. Not too heavy. But still, it's heavy enough that I'm not comfortable putting it on my table. But yeah. Let's get some music going. Oh yeah, and like I did splurge a little bit. I got myself the number pad of the keypad. Like I have the retro 8-bito keyboard, but I got it without the number pad because my little under desk thing isn't big enough for it. But I bought the number pad because I'm one of the psychos that needs a number pad. I can't just do the numbers up there. I need something here, and also it doubles as a calculator, so technically I can take this to school and be the most coolest, loudest math person in the classroom. Yeah. And what's even cooler with this is that like it has like magnets on the side, so I could just like snap it to my keyboard and it sticks, it stays there. And like that's so cool. Technology, man. Let's see here. Let's get some music going. Let's see here. Ooh. Man, I've been on like a nostalgic high for a bit. And so like mainly let's see here. Actually here on Shh, quiet. Okay, so there's this guy that I've been watching recently. It's Bijuro.
A catchphrase.
Quiet. Bijuro. And I've just been watching his like early 2000 videos. And like I was born into that generation. I was born to it. But I feel like at times that's a generation that I completely missed. Simply because of how fast it went by. Like there was so much that was part of my generation that I didn't even know about. Like here, hold on. Let me get this over here. Where is it? Let me look at my own playlist. Like,
A metal rectangle, a camera on the back,
like here,
a
hold on.
charger on the bottom, and a touchscreen on the front.
Like, look at this.
Is what your phone looks like. I'm not even gonna say probably or most likely, because that's just not true. Your phone is some variation of these four things, and it has been for a long time, ever since a crisp Tuesday morning of 2007. When
Here, I'm gonna skip forward a bit.
This is how a smartphone
Like-
was going.
Like, yeah, we all are familiar with like the typical like metal glass phone, right? We're all familiar with that. But like this in the back, I remember seeing those in Walmarts, like being sold in Walmarts with the candies and such. And I thought it was like the most coolest thing ever. I don't think it's an actual phone. I think it was like a toy phone. But being it to like slide, that was the most awesome thing at the time. And let's see. And like, yeah, he talks about it here.
This was my first cell phone.
Which also, LG phones were the best ones. Like, I'm not talking about the early 2000s. I'm talking about like today. Like with the LG V60, whatever it was called. It was the best phone, and I am mad that it's gone now.
I ever had, and he comes with a pretty special feature. He slides, slidey outfits.
Like, how
are
cool
the
is
most
that?
Popular phone thing of the 2000s. You may not be familiar with my friend the LG Breeze right here, but you've definitely seen a slidey phone of some.
Shush! I'm trying to nostalgize.
It is an icon of the 2000s. Most worked not unlike my friend here, spitting a keyboard out the side or a numpad down the bottom. Those were the two most popular types of slides, but very, very far from the only. This is the Motorola V70. A pretty normal looking guy on the surface, but with a deep Philippine secret. That's right.
Look at
around
that.
The side. It
That's
pivots
so
around its
cool.
weird circle screen to go around the.
Like, phones don't do that anymore. They just don't. And it sucks. Like, why? Why don't they do this anymore? Why don't they, like, innovate anymore? Well, I know why. It's because, like, it's safe, it's innovate. Like, that's how you get your money. But I don't care. I want something cool like this.
Side. That is so cool. It is pretty much just a normal flip phone, just with a different direction, but still, that's so cool to me.
I also love how he,
Another Motorola,
like, edits
the
his videos.
Motorola
It's very
Flip
funny.
Out is a phone named quite accurately, because that's just what you do when you see it. Watch this. What?
Yeah. My reaction too when I first saw this video, like, what do you mean? It just one hinge flips that way. What do you mean it just works that way? What do you mean? That is crazy. That is insane. Like, huh?
That is so cool.
I
I've
know.
never seen this one back in the day and being
And it's touchscreen too. I think, like, man, dude, we need this back. We need these old phones back.
equal all to as I am right now. How does it do that? How does it do that?
That is
Megan,
what
you know what? When I recorded this, I thought it flipped.
like. I wonder how it works too, like, circuitry wise. Like, how does it work? How does it connect to it? Like, is it all running through this one point? Does it have a sort of, like, I don't know, area where it, like, connects, like some kind of connectors, like, at the back here or something? But that is cool. Why don't we have phones like that
A
anymore?
lot differently than it actually does. It's actually probably just a single hinge right here. Anyways, this is the Siemens SK65. I know it's gonna be hard to beat that last one, but watch. Whoosh. What?
Yeah, that is insane. Just you just made your phone into the cross.
Is it comfortable to hold when it flips out like that?
Definitely
That
not,
is
probably.
crazy. I love that. They didn't stop at just keyboards or numpads. Popping out those is cool, but what if you popped out the screen? This is the LG VX9400, and instead of popping out an isolated keyboard or numpad, instead the display pops up and rotates, turning into a horizontal display.
That is just so cool. Oh, this morning I just saw a phone that has like it's like a flip phone. It has a camera on it. It's like one of those like more bulky cameras. You just stick it out. It looks like a minigun, but then like you can like flip your phone open, turn the screen sideways, and I mean like sideways, like you would a recorder back then, and you could just record videos. What? Why can't our phones be Transformers?
To play videos or
We have the technology for
watch
it.
the news. I found this picture of the news on it. That is so nifty and snazzy. I'm saying all these weird words because I looked through my script and I saw that I said cool like
Yeah.
probably
Awesome, stellar, far out.
30 times. So I went on a thesaurus and I swapped some of them out. This phone is
Yeah,
so
that's very awesome.
modest and in vogue. It really is though. Like this is so creative and just cool. Shit. I love things like this. They actually tried to
For real.
recreate this phone in 2020 with the LG Wing, which sounds like it'd be really cool in concept, but in practice, it doesn't.
It is very stupid. They shouldn't have done that. They should have just reinvented the wheel at that point. And like, oh my goodness, it bothers me to no extent. The fact that everything has to be touchscreen. I hate it so much. Like, oh my goodness, I understand. It's cool that I could just boom and it does the thing. That's cool. That's fine. But oh my goodness, I hate it. Like I want to be able to just I just want that. It just feels so much more nicer to have tactile buttons than a freaking touchscreen. you know, in settings on your phone, whenever you press a button, you can make it where it like vibrates and make a sound whenever you press a button on your phone. It, like, I have that, but sometimes my phone would freaking undo that in some areas because it is old and it is dumb. So it would do that. And when it does that, it is the bane of my existence. Like, my day is entirely ruined because I can no longer feel the button. It's, and like, on the air fryer, like on the family's air fryer, I don't know how that thing works because it's not exactly touchscreen. It's not buttons. It's just those glowy lights that you press. I hate it so much because I can never press that thing. Like, I press it and it's not working. I press it harder. It's not working. I put my entire finger on any possible area the sensor is. It's not working. I hate it so much. I want my buttons back. Please, can we have buttons back? And if it's like a touchscreen, can we just have the stylus touchscreen, please? I miss that. I miss when it was like, you know, like you don't have to touch it with your sticky, grimy fingers. You have a stick for it. Or you just use your fingernail. I miss those days.
Really have the same charm. That's a hammer. Another poppy screen you might be familiar with is the Danger Hip-Top, which went by many different names, most popularly known as the T-Mobile Sidekick.
Like, oh my goodness. Like,
look at that.
Oh my goodness. Just
spin. This is the phone that Zoe from Zoe 101.
That looks like a freaking Steam Deck. Who doesn't want that? It looks so cool.
I watched Zoe 101. Her brother was named Dustin, and my real name is Justin, and it
real
made me
name
mad.
drop? Far out.
Some phones didn't pop or slide at all. This is the famous Nokia E70, which on the surface looks like a regular Nokia type phone, but it unfolds like a book. What? Again, just such creative ways to do that.
I can totally see that being a thing today. Like, can we please reinvent the wheel here and just update some of these models to where they actually work and, you know, have some more modern things to them? Like, keep them as dumb phones, but, you know, let them have emails. You know, if you need to look up something, let it have access to that. Like, let it have group chats, you know, stuff like that. Like, you know, modern necessities. But, oh my goodness. Let's have these models back. Let's just have them. Like, you already have the blueprints. All you have to do is just, you know, reinvent it. Reinnovate it. This will go crazy. It literally will go crazy. Like, this is a gold mine here that no one's utilizing.
That is so cool. So far, I've mostly only talked about sliding and rotating, I guess, phones. But there was another type of motion, also very, very popular in the early 2000s. Flip phones. I don't have a flip phone, so...
Yeah. Well, I mean, you kind of just showed it. Like, I mean, technically with the book one, that's technically a flip phone. But not really.
Hello? There were many flip phones, too.
Oh, man, it just reminded me. I can't remember. I think it was, like, Sky High or something like that. But there was this character who had a duck phone. And it would go whenever it rang. Man, that was awesome. I remember that. It's like, oh my goodness. I wanted that when I was a kid. But it's like, what's the point? Because we don't have landlines or home phones anymore.
Flipped in ways you could not imagine. The Samsung P100V was a phone that you could pivot the hinge around. So you could use it as a phone like this, or type a text message like this. This is the Moto A1200,
awesome.
Another flip phone. But not really. It does flip, but the flippy part is actually just a translucent piece of plastic that...
I'm guessing that all the circuitry
Does
is
have a
cleverly designed in these wires right there, that silver part. I'm guessing the circuitry for the microphone, because that's what that is up there, is a microphone. I'm guessing that's the circuitry right there. And I wonder how, like, stable or flimsy this clear part is. But if it is pretty stable, again, just reinvent the wheel here. This is a gold mine opportunity. People are slowly getting tired of having the same thing. People want to be customized. Like, if there's anyone who wants to make a modern dumb phone, please look at these old designs and reinvent them, re-innovate them if you can. It would go crazy.
So it does still function as a proper flip phone, but there's not a screen up there. That is
Well,
the most
I would buy
unique
it at
flip
least.
phone I've ever seen, except maybe the Lamborghini phone. I miss these types of phones so much. Any
And that is
device that
something
allows
that a
you to
pimp would
swap
have.
or change or move things like a Transformer toy is so
Exactly,
fun.
that's so
I wish
cool.
we could implement this somehow into modern phones. There's folding phones now. They're starting to become a thing,
But they suck! They suck! And it's touchscreen! It's touchscreen! Stop the touchscreen, please! Like, oh my goodness, can we please stop touchscreen? It's dumb. It's so dumb. Not everything needs to be touchscreen.
the streamlined phone design right now is still just this. But speaking of shapes
Here, let me move
and
my mouse over
silhouettes,
so it's not
let's
like
talk
on
about
his
those.
forehead like a pimple.
These phones from this era can take about any shape you could imagine, and there are some very, very unique ones. This bad boy is the Nokia 7600.
Not gonna lie, at times, I think about remaking, like just making my own phone straight up with like an interesting shape. And I had this one idea of like making it kind of like a charm, because all the main components that you need to make a phone isn't that much. Like, if you're talking about the stuff that you need to have, it's not that much. And even if you do need a bit more in modern days, a lot of the components, I think, are smaller than they were back then. I need to, like, don't quote me on that. But I think typically it kind of is. But anyways, I had an idea where it's kind of like this shape, where it's like a little charm, but it's like a flip phone. And it has like a hole, and you could just wear it like a necklace. Like, it should be light enough where you could just like wear it like a necklace, and if it's like bling bling, oh, be like, oh. And like, because you don't have to put it in your pocket if it's on your neck. You don't have to worry about putting it in your purse or your pocket. It's, you know, it's right there. It's right in front of you. Someone try to steal it, they have to yoink it out of your neck. Well, off of your neck. It's not in your neck, but you know.
A Tamagotchi looking phone with buttons on the side and a screen in the middle. All in the form of this weird shape. What is that? What would you even call that?
It's
not
leaf.
a circle, it's not a square, it's
Leaf.
lips! Lip phone! I actually really like the design of this one. It looks like it would feel so nice to hold in your hand. It looks so smooth. It looks like you could drop it like soap, like whoop. Whoops, I love it. On the other end of the shape spectrum, we have the Nokia 7280, a stick type phone that was inspired.
Honestly, that looks like the Men in Black, like, forget me stick. It looks like that. Like, you're just gonna show it up to a person, and they're just gonna forget everything.
Maybe by a Coffee Crisp. It's got a screen on the left and a little control pad on the right, which you rotate around like an iPod. It's also got a camera inside of it that you can access by going bop, and it pops on open. That's so much fun. Like, who comes up with
That
this?
is
Like, oh, we
awesome.
have our weird stick Coffee Crisp phone. What else should we add? Should we put a camera on it? Yeah, but should we just make it, like, kind of pop open, like a Pez dispenser? Yes, that part was not inspired by the Coffee Crisp. The Toshiba
That would be cool.
G450 is
Now, what the heck is this? I'm all for innovation, as you can tell. This is a little stupid, but at the same time, I'm glad it exists. It's so dumb. But this thing exists. And It looks so dumb, it's cool. I like it.
There's another lawn one. It reminds me maybe of a car dashboard, or maybe
Kinda.
P's.
Actually, yeah, it
It's
kinda
got
does.
these 3 circles. One is a display, the other one is a numpad, and the other is the rest of the numpad. It's split into 2 separate circles. Which
How would someone hold this? How would you text with it? Like, I'm more curious of, like, what does this screen displays? Like, I'm assuming it displays, like, your typical stuff, and, like, you can play Snake on it, but how?
there's not anything necessarily wrong with, but it does go against almost anything or any kind of numpad anyone has ever seen. Usually all the numbers are in one place. Some
Yeah.
companies just took existing things and just stuck a phone onto it. Look at the Nokia N95. That's just a camera with a phone stapled on. Look at this random
much.
unassuming makeup thing. Oh, that's nice. That's probably a mirror with some kind of makeup thin inside it, probably. Psych!
Nope.
That's a phone!
And now it does have like a mirror thing. I'm not sure if he like photoshopped it to like, you know, make it look more like a compactor, or this is an actual mirror. And you can actually put like eyeshadow right there. If that's the case, that's a bad idea because eyeshadow is very dusty and that's gonna get into circuitry and gonna cause so much problems. And also you're gonna have that on your face, so you're gonna have like a dot of like eyeshadow just on your face. But still, this is cool. Like, this is the more so the shape that I thought of. Like, I would like if this entire like top was a screen, I would probably buy this. I am not kidding. This is cool. I would probably buy, like, it's a compactor, but a phone. This is what we see in the Jetsons. The Jetsons! This is a Jetsons phone!
That's the Siemens Zilibri 6. We've talked about flips.
No, it's the
and
Jetsons
slides.
phone.
We've talked about shapes. But I want to talk about another
It's
trend
James
that was present
Jetson's
in the
phone.
2000s, and that is gimmicks. By gimmick, I don't mean that in a negative connotation. A gimmick isn't necessarily bad. In fact, most of these are good. By that, I just mean some kind of novelty
It's the
or thing
sauce.
that you normally
The
would
special
not see on a
sauce
phone.
is that flavor.
Like
It's that
this.
zing.
What is that? What is this? This is the Sony Xperia Pureness. Oh my god, I love this phone. The bottom half is a pretty normal Sony Ericsson phone, but the top half. The display is a piece of glass that makes it look like your icons and your stuff is floating in air, suspended by nothing.
Yeah, that is so cool. Oh, well, it must be some kind of like hologram kind of stuff. It must be like maybe there's like lasers going through all this stuff, like lights and just like a grid. Yeah. Terrible product, but amazing idea.
Feels like magic. And this isn't just on camera too. This is actually how the phone was. It's completely translucent on the back, so you can see through right to whatever the person using it is doing. It has zero privacy, but who needs privacy when your phone looks like this? Oh, you caught me reading Sonic the Hedgehog
Bruh.
X Rainbow Dash fanfic. Might I ask how you
Alright,
on a sunny day?
I'm skipping
but
past the
green
bit.
is completely black and white, and not to mention completely useless on a sunny day. But fuck, man. I just can't help myself but look past all that because of how cool this
It
is.
is
This phone is
awesome.
actually a perfect
It does
demonstration
look
of my
awesome.
point. I found this concept image by Tuajik of what an Xperia Pureness of today could look like.
That looks cool. Again, I hate the fact that it is just a touchscreen. But that is cool. Impractical, but cool.
With a more modern smartphone design. They could do this. It seems so out there, this crazy all-glass, fully translucent phone. But this is very, very far
I wonder if they're using like the worm invisible string to keep that suspended. I wonder if that's what he's using.
from impossible, but they don't, because it's not that period of experimentation of the 2000s anymore. Another perfect example of a gimmick phone is the Xperia Play. Its gimmick was it was for gaming. It was the gaming phone. Nowadays we are blessed with so many gaming phones that we all love so much. Right? What, you guys don't have an Asus ROG Phone 6 with a thermoelectric cooler add-on?
Honestly, I didn't know gamer phones existed before this video.
Oh, we have many gaming phones these days, but back then, these didn't really exist. This was one of its kind. It's a pretty regular...
Wait, it has shoulder buttons? Hold on.
But back then, these didn't really exist. This was one...
Well then, okay. Never saw a phone with shoulder buttons before, but then again, I never saw a phone with a D-pad.
One of its kind. It's a pretty regular 2012 phone, but it has a slide-out keyboard that isn't actually a keyboard at all. Instead, it is a rough PlayStation gamepad.
How would
which
you
is
text
a neat
with that?
Concept. I remember
How would
really,
you,
really
like,
wanting one of these
send
things back in the day
messages with
because
that?
it's so cool, and also because this phone, for a time, was the only way you could play Minecraft on mobile.
Which blew my
For
mind.
22 days. It had all kinds of games and stuff. I think a few were exclusive to it. They weren't, like, it had Battlefield Bad Company 2. That's pretty cool. And because of these games, I got the impression when I was little that it was a phone combined with a PSP Mini or something. Remember those? But that is not the case. It was a fairly regular
those, like,
Android
little
phone.
circle
It was
things?
not
Is that supposed to be
a
like,
console combined with a phone.
nunchucks?
That would just be
Not
crazy.
nunchucks.
Right? This is the Nokia
The,
N-Gage. The
circle.
true first gaming phone. Half phone, half game-ming. It really was. It was meant to be a phone, but also a full-on game console to compete with the Game Boy Advance. The Game Boy
That's a
did
flip out though.
end up winning out, though, due to having 1,474 more games. But that's not to say that it didn't have games. This didn't run just like Snake or some mobile game. This ran full-on game cartridges, and it had some good titles. There's Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
That's the biggest problem. If the screen doesn't pop out, that's the problem. You need to have the screen pop out. Then it would have been peak.
Sims, Rayman, Sonic R, or Sonic N. That's not a joke. It was really called that. It wasn't anything like Sonic R though. It even had Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2004. What more could you really ever need? And the last gimmick I want to talk about is the Samsung Galaxy Beam. This is kind of breaking the theme of the video since it is a modern touchscreen smartphone like I ragged on in the beginning, but I wanted to mention it regardless because I really love it. It's just a normal Samsung Galaxy S3 but with a projector stuck in it. Okay, up to...
You know, I've been trying to think for a little bit, like ever since I saw the video. I need to like think. I think I might have saw ads of it when I was a kid, but I must have been like really small because I think they stopped selling it roughly after I was born. Sorry guys, I'm the reason why all texts suck. They're like, oh, this child's born. Gotta make the world boring now.
Now, I've been excluding a certain type of phone, and that is internet phones. When you hear the term internet phone, you probably think of something like the BlackBerry. Before the iPhone, I feel like BlackBerry was largely considered one of the best ways to have the internet on your phone. It's what...
Now, yeah, I wonder, like, audience, do you guys know of, like, these old phones and all that stuff? If so, then comment below, like, you know, what kind of phone you had when you were younger in this era. Because, like, I was too young. Like, I completely missed it. By the time I had a phone, it was, like, when, you know, Vine was around. That was when I got my first phone, so I completely missed this. Like, I never had, well, I mean, I did have a flip phone, but it was, like, more so for security reasons, and it only stayed in the house because we only stayed in the house. So it's kind of useless, and I think we got rid of the landline in the house, and so we still needed a way to contact our parents, so our parents got us a home flip phone instead. I would play Snake on it, but I would get mad because I didn't know how to play Snake.
Every businessman used to check emails and do internet businessy phone things. But there was a lot of experimentation and question on how to take the internet mobile long before the BlackBerry. In 1996, the Nokia Communicator was the first
Look at
ever
that
phone.
thing. Look at that. It's like a laptop, but small. That is awesome.
To load up a traditional HTML website on a phone, and exclusively in Finland. Between that and the BlackBerry,
of course,
there were
in Finland,
a lot of ideas for what a mobile internet could look like, some of which weren't even phones. This device is the Sony Vaio UX. I think that's how you pronounce Vaio. No one's ever told me otherwise. This is one of the most
Vayoi?
interesting devices I've ever seen. I love it. It looks a little bit like a debit machine, but I assure you it is not. This is from an era before internet on phones was a widespread thing, but for people who still wanted a portable computer experience. It's not very much a cell phone, and it's not very much a laptop. It's somewhere in between. It has a full screen display that pops up to reveal a full QWERTY keyboard. It's got a little mouse nub and a bunch of different buttons for things. It runs full
So this is kinda
desktop
like,
Windows XP, which seems...
you know, this thing walks so the laptop can run. I think the laptop was like probably way before this, but still. I think it was like in the 90s when laptops were like, you know, starting to get made. But it would be cool if this was like before the laptop.
Awkward, to say the least, to use on a device this small. You can either use the mouse nubs for control, or it's also a stylus-based touchscreen. I love this thing. I was going to say that I would love to have a modern version of this, but I don't know if I would. It looks like it would be extremely awkward to do almost anything on here, except maybe check the internet or draw a picture, which my current phone does just
fair
fine.
enough.
It would be really nice to have this full Windows desktop experience on the go, but I really don't think I would use it for much more than I already use my phone right now.
Excuse me.
That's talking about it as if it were a phone, though. What's really interesting is this did actually come back today. The Steam Deck is pretty much the exact same thing as this, only with an emphasis on games, I guess. But it could play one game
Wait, really?
that the Steam Deck
Well,
could
where's
never.
the QWERTY
It could play
keyboard?
Inkball. Have you ever seen Microsoft Inkball? I bet not. I love Microsoft Inkball. My dad had a super early Windows XP laptop that had also a touchscreen with a stylus, and me and my brother went crazy on Inkball. Go play Inkball. Anyways, this definitely wasn't the best mobile
Herb,
means
I
to
know
the
what we're
internet.
doing today.
This actually wasn't even the best way to experience Windows on mobile. What do you mean, you might ask? Let me show you something.
Oh, yeah,
Windows Mobile. When you hear that
I just now realized he has the year of when it came out. I'm illiterate. I'm sorry.
phrase, you most likely think of this, Live Tiles and the mess that was Windows 8. But a lot of people don't know that this
You could have Windows
was
on
not
a
the
phone?
only version of Windows Mobile to ever exist. Far from it. Mobile versions of Windows
Man, look
date
how
back as
square
far
that
as the
thing
year
is.
2000. Back then, it was called Windows Pocket PC, and it ran on small phone-esque devices. Look at these things. It was later renamed to Windows Mobile and used all the way through XP, Vista, and even Windows 7, before obviously being discontinued in favor of the new Live Tile Windows 8 extravaganza that
Oh yeah, I remember that when I was a kid. Not gonna lie, I kinda like it. Like, all the cubes were just everywhere. I kinda liked it. What would have been better if they were hexagons and you can move those hexagons? That would have been much more better.
everybody loved so much.
What would be increasingly better if there wasn't any bloatware.
Garbage truck!
Garbage truck!
This old version of Windows Mobile is very similar to a regular desktop Windows experience. There's a start button, there's a full file explorer, there's a task manager, there's programs like Word and Excel, even Solitaire.
Now this is what, man, this is what I need. I need my stylus touchscreen. That's what I need. Like, I don't want to touch the screen with my grimy fingers. Like, I mean, that's fine. It's okay. You know, I grew up with it. It's not that big of a deal. But I would, man, I miss my DS. I miss him. I miss my DS.
There was even Windows Media Player for music or even videos. There's even MSN. This was almost a full Windows experience on a phone. Maybe not full. That's a bit of a stretch, but it's as close as you could possibly get. And all of this in the early 2000s, way before the iPhone. You could run EXEs. You could even right-click. This is all so cool. And again, I was going to say how I wish that there was some modern version of this today, but again, I don't think I do. Having this freedom and these features available is really, really nice. But writing a Word doc or going through an extensive file route,
I keep hearing noise, but I think it's just my dog snoring or, you know, people in the house making noise.
or doing really any of this stuff on a device this small looks difficult, but it's still so cool to see
Oh,
a
no,
time
wait,
when
I don't
you
have
could
my
get a
headphones
device
in,
like
I just
this. From a
realized.
time where we were still just figuring
Here, hold on. Shh. Quiet. Quiet, dude. There we are. That should help out with the
Where
echo.
the line should be drawn between computer
I finally
and
realized.
phone. The
Almost
2000s
at the-
produced
I think
some
I'm just gonna.
very
I think I'm just gonna do like an hour-long stream. You know.
cool stuff. An era of experimentation that I miss. But today isn't so bad. Phones are largely all kind of the same thing because this touchscreen format works very, very good. And there are some things. Like I said, there are folding phones coming out now. Those are really, really cool. There are flippy touchscreen phones. Hell, they even rebooted the Motorola Razr. Things I don't think will ever be as experimental as they were in the 2000s. But things are always changing.
Yeah,
So,
I guess so.
I don't know. I'm hopeful for the future to see what technology will bring next. I personally am hoping for this iPhone concept from 2014. But what do you think? Do you like these old phones, or do you
I mean, that looks cool, but at the same time, what you gonna do? Like, how you gonna hold that? Like, here, hold on.
for this
Like, how you gonna hold that? Because your hand's gonna cup around it, and if that's touchscreen, then your fingers are just gonna constantly be interacting with all the buttons on the side. So how are you gonna interact with that?
iPhone concept from 2014? But what do you think? Do you like
I mean, it's
these
cool.
old phones, or do you think they are really
But-
crappy and bad? Is there one that I didn't mention here that you might have had back then that you found really, really cool? Because there were a lot of them. I mentioned a lot of them, but not nearly all of them. Let me know in the comments. I would genuinely love to hear it. I love hearing about all kinds of this stuff. Subscribe, like, rate 5 stars, all that jazz. If you want to, you don't have to. And I will see you in the next one.
Very nice. But yeah, man, that is just so cool. Man, the future back then was so cool. Now it's so boring. Most of the time it's like it's clean. It's grimy. But it's not funky, you know? The future isn't funky anymore. The future isn't creative anymore. The future is what we expect the future to be. And I don't like that. Like, can we have the future that was depicted in like the Jetsons? Can we like try and hope for that future again? Can we like make technology that we thought like the future in the 60s would be? Like, get me Back to the Future's future. Like, can we think like that again? Because that was so cool. And it really did feel like possibilities were endless. But yeah, here real quick. Wanna watch this
Have
video
you ever seen
about La Computadora?
this logo?
And
You
then I eat
probably
lunch because I'm
It's not
hungry.
exactly unknown by any means. Most people have seen a computer with this logo on it before, either in real life or in media. You can see this logo appear in James Bond, in some anime. In the social network, Mark Zuckerberg has a laptop with this logo. And even more recently, I've seen it
I actually
plastered
didn't
over
notice that.
all sorts of Fruitiger Arrow and Y2K edits. I think most people know that whoever these guys are, they make computers. The brand that I'm talking about is Vaio, Sony's experimental venture into the computer market, known for its crazy futuristic designs, weird experimental
Okay.
computers, and a mouse that you can also use to talk on the phone.
Wait, what? Really?
Hello? This isn't that. This is just my normal mouse. I have
Yeah, but like that's cool. Like your entire workspace in one. That's kind of cool. Well, I mean, we kind of already have that with like Discord, Teams, and whatever. But that's cool. It might be unpractical, but that's cool.
wondered for a very long time what this brand's deal is. Why do people like it so much? Why do I see it everywhere? I was very much hoping to find a convenient 30-minute YouTube video telling me all about them, what kinds of things they made, and all kinds of fun, convenient facts. But when I looked, nothing. Not nothing. There are plenty of people here happy to talk about a single Vaio product in specific, but nobody did tell me how this brand came to be, or why
the history and
all
such.
of their stuff looks so swanky for the time. So I guess I'm gonna have to do it, because I want to know what this brand is, why it's so beloved by computer enthusiasts, and most of all, I want to know more about all of the crazy...
Wait, hold on.
loved by computer enthusiasts, and most of all, I want to know more about all of the
What is that? What is that?
crazy, weird stuff
Wait.
they made. And if you're here watching this with me right now, chances are you want to know that too. So let's find out, shall we? Starting, of
Heck
course,
yeah.
with probably how they came to be. That seems like a good place to start. VAIO was founded by Sony in 1996 as Sony's
Okay.
brand new venture into computer manufacturing. Sony did make computers before this in the 80s, like this
Oh, yeah,
one,
it's a
this
caterpillar
one,
back there.
this super tall one for some reason, but none of these really stuck out or sold that well. So when computers were starting to become hot shit in the 90s, they decided to give it an entirely new shot, with a brand new subsidiary and a brand new name. To kickstart this brand new venture into the computer world, they appointed Teiyu Goto as the lead brand designer. That's important because this guy is
Wow.
the guy who designed the
I didn't know they make them in pixels.
PlayStation controller, the square, triangle, circle, X buttons that are on every single PlayStation controller, the UMD,
Yeah,
the
brother.
PlayStation 3 logo, and this logo for VAIO. The word itself was picked because in Japanese and English, it sounds kind of like the word bio, showing the brand's relation to the earth and trees and biology. The letters in VAIO are
Really?
also an acronym for Video Audio Input Output. And that's just the word VAIO itself. Then we have the logo. This is such a cool fucking piece of text before any deeper meaning. I think as far as computer manufacturer logos go, this is definitely my favorite. You want to know my least favorite? Gateway Computers. What the hell is this? Why is it
Shush.
a cow? Do you make computers or do you make fucking milk and cheese?
I thought that's an ice cube.
Anyways, the VAIO logo also goes much deeper than meets the eye. The connected V and A are meant to be a sine wave to represent analog audio, and the I and
Okay.
the O are meant to be a 1 and a 0, symbolizing
Binary.
the merging of analog things like music and video with the digital binary world of a computer. I think that is just so neat. I love this logo
That is
so
cool.
much. It's a masterpiece.
I
But
like
a
it too
logo
now.
is only as cool as the thing it is laser etched into. Now it's time to talk about the things that VAIO actually made. Starting with this guy. This was VAIO's first ever product. Not the prettiest thing in the world, especially compared to what VAIO would go on to produce later.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's cute.
But hey, you gotta start somewhere. This thing, although underwhelming comparatively, was still pretty unique compared to all the other guys in 1996. True to the VAIO philosophy, it came with a pre-installed sound card, a CD-ROM drive, which was not common in computers at the time, and its
Okay.
best feature. It, like all the other guys at the time, came in beige, boring computer beige, but on top of beige,
It's
it also
beautiful
came in
beige.
purple.
What if it was purple?
This would become a bit of a staple for VAIO, having purple things among a lot of its products for years to come. There's even apparently a bit of a reason for this, because VAIO sounds kind of like Violet. That seems like a bit of a stretch, though. I think they're just making shit up.
Yeah.
So bright in
But
here.
purple is
Ah.
purple is pretty though.
I'm the worst vampire ever. On top of also looking pretty cool for the time, this guy is also notable because it ran this program called VAIO Space. Not just it. Lots of
Wait,
VAIO
hold on.
computers ran this. Anyways, describe
Why does it look like a game? Why does it look like a game hub? Like, I just went into my inventory and such in Ocarina of Time. Why does it look like that?
as a desktop replacement. This was a program that sat on top of Windows and was meant to act as a place you did most of your computer business. It had a built-in web browser, a video and music player.
Oh my goodness, this is epic!
You did most of your computer business. It had a built-in web browser,
This
a
is
video and music
awesome.
player, games, all within this virtual 3D cube interface. And I really like it. I don't know how practical it was running all of these 3D effects on a computer in
Probably not very practical. It probably ate the graphics card and RAM so much. But that is cool. Like, if it was static, even just as static, that would have been awesome.
1996, but this is a really cool thing. A really cool attempt at a version of a desktop that isn't just a 2D mat with icons. It kind of reminds me of those 3D desktop programs that we saw in the Windows.
Why can't we have this? I'm being dead serious. Why can't we have this? This is awesome. Like, man, this is exactly why I want Linux. Because I could probably program something like this. Or what I want is that, like, I want my apps to be like a little village. And I want a little, like, character that I could just move around and, like, enter the house, the room that is, like, you know, my browser, my video games, my, you know, apps and whatever.
Vista era. Remember those? They would like turn your desktop into like a desk or like a deep pit of a drawer where you could drag around your icons in
That is awesome!
like a 3D space.
Can we do that?
I used to love these so much. I used to get so much bullshit on my mom's old computer. Those programs were most of the time just packed
That's
with
true.
malware and garbage. But this wasn't. VAIO Space was a really cool innovation, even if most people who used it just exited it to use regular Windows 95 in the end. This computer was only the launchpad for VAIO, and in the coming years after, they continued to make all sorts of desktops and laptops and t-shirts too, I think. I found this. Moving
Wait,
on
what?
to
Why?
1998. In 98, VAIO released this guy. The VAIO C1 picture book. It was called this
Okay.
for two reasons. One, because it was small and in the shape of a book, and you could put it on your shelf. Oh, honey, where'd you put my laptop? Oh, it's on the top shelf next to Pride and Prejudice. I had to look up famous books for that joke. The second reason.
You don't know Pride and Prejudice? Like, I never read it myself, but I know, like, heard of Pride and Prejudice. Probably doesn't even know Love and War, or even heard of it, or Huckleberry Finn. I need to read. I need to freaking read. Well, I mean, I am going to read. I just placed an order for the original Nutcracker story. I love Nutcracker. It's one of my favorite Christmas stories. And so I've ordered the book, and I'm going to read that and, you know, grow knowledge.
It was called picture book was for, well, the first word, picture. Because with the VAIO C1, you could take pictures of things, like your face. The VAIO C1 was the first ever laptop to have a built-in webcam. Technically. If you Google it, it says the ThinkPad 850, but that camera snapped on. It snapped on. It's not built in. Incorrect, Wikipedia. VAIO was the first to have a camera built into a laptop that could not be taken out or
Oh, man. I hate these things. These little mouse, little dot things. I had them on my Chromebook. I mean, they're fun, they're cool, but man, I hate the texture of those things.
This seems like such an obvious thing to do
I'm
today. Like,
just being a hater. Man, I just am hating so much.
what do you mean it took till 1998 for them to think of putting a webcam in a laptop? But in 1998, not a lot of people were taking photos with webcams. There was no Mac photo booth. There was no Skype. There was no Omegle. The intention of the webcam in the picture book was to send videos in emails, which I guess you could do. But again, it's gonna take forever to load, and it's just gonna sound like this.
Hey man, I was just wondering if you wanted to go bowling with me. I was thinking this Thursday, it sounds like a good bowling day.
Still though,
That's not like the worst thing in the world. Man, got me nostalgia of my DS. On freaking, Flipnote, the frog. Man, I had so many projects and I deleted it all because I was an idiot. Don't ever delete anything. Like, as an artist, don't ever delete your things because you're gonna want to look back on them. Those are like your baby pictures. Don't delete those.
ahead of its time. You cannot get a laptop without a webcam these days. It was setting the trends. These VAIOs up to this point are certainly cool for sure, but they are not the designs most people remember VAIO for. VAIO really hit their prime in the 2000s. Once the 2000s rolled around, everybody started going crazy. And not just because of the recent events. Most computer manufacturers began shifting to more sleek,
Why don't we have that? That is cool. Why don't we have that?
metallic, translucent designs. And Vaio was at the cusp of that transition. But Vaio also started really fucking around in the 2000s, making some extremely interesting experiments and, in all honesty, freaks of nature. Some computers that really make you go, what the hell is that? But in a good way. What the hell is that? Affectionate. Like, look at this thing. The Vaio MX. Looks pretty normal at first glance,
looks
right?
like an
Looks like a
entire
pretty
setup.
normal computer. But then you look a little longer, and what's this? Why is there a car stereo deck inside this desktop computer? Well, that's because there is a car stereo inside this desktop computer. From 2001,
Wait. For real?
this is the Vaio
Wait, that's a radio?
MX. Half computer, half stereo system. Hold on, I need to refill my mason jar of water.
Heck
I
yeah.
love mason jar water. What's your favorite cup to put water in?
I have this Japanese cup that I got from Lucky Cat Boba. I love it. It's pink. I don't like pink. Well, it's more like a salmon pink. But it's bubbly shape. And I like it.
Leave a comment below.
It makes the water taste weird, but you know, I like it.
Oh. What the hell are we talking about? This is a computer with a CD and mini disc player and burner, an
Ooh.
FM radio inside, and an entire dedicated screen for all of that. These work independently of the computer too. With the computer powered off, you can still play media, play the radio, all from the LCD screen, which
That
looks
is awesome.
so nice. I love this thing
Why don't we have that? Why can't we have nice
so much.
things?
It's not
Oh my goodness. I need to just like stop and look at this guy's room because man, look at all this nerd stuff. Like there are like 3 Portal references in this thing. And like is that a cuckoo?
not just built
Not a cuckoo. Is it? There's like Rousey, like Wetlead, the Portal drones. And like I'm just like the more I look at this guy's room, the more I'm like,
into
man,
the computer for no reason though.
We probably could be
Pre-installed on
friends.
these guys is a program called MX Stage, a proprietary program you can use to control the stereo system from the computer. You can play CDs or mini discs, adjust the FM radio, and you can even record the FM radio inputs to put on a CD or
That
mini
is
disc,
awesome.
or maybe upload to that one fruit program. I think it was called Lemon String, or maybe Sleepster. There are a few weird programs that came on a lot of different Vaio computers. There was Vaio Wallpaper Maker, where you could make your own wallpapers. There was this one game called Sapari, which was like a virtual world type thing from 1997 with these fun little cats. There was this one program that would cycle your wallpapers on a day-night cycle. That's actually
that is actually awesome.
where these iconic, famous Vaio wallpapers come from. I'm sure you've seen these around. Pie count. Hold up, my cat meowing. You want to be famous, cat?
No.
Look, famous cat. Oh, no, sorry. The Vaio MX came in 2 different versions, one from 2000 and one from 2001. 2000's orange screen is pretty nice, but that 2001 version, with that reflective front and the turquoise screen, oh, I love this.
Oh. Why were things so much cooler back then?
One so much. If I had one, I would put it at the front door of my house and make everybody look at it when they came in. They were putting those designers to work at the beginning of this millennium. This is another Vaio from that same year in 2001.
Looks a little
To
silly.
say this is just another Vaio computer, though, wouldn't do it justice. Because this guy is one of the most iconic of any. This is the Vaio QR. There's not anything particularly noteworthy about this guy. There's no weird hidden features. There's no stereo system built in. It's just a pretty regular laptop doing regular laptop things, but in absolute style. Look at how glossy and reflective it is. In 2001, nobody had really caught up to this yet. There was Apple's iBook G3 up there with it, but most Windows computers were still pretty gray. It also came with these little Beats pill-shaped speaker things that attach to the sides, and like, I love that. Little ears. It has little ears. That's so fun.
That's kind of funny.
I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy for computer ears. But that's so fun. It has little ears. Why not? Why not put detachable speakers on the side? I don't know how practical that is, but it certainly is.
Oh man, you could put like 2 googly eyes on the back and it's just like, you know, a freakish little thing with like giant eyes and giant ears.
Fun. This just screams Y2K. It's beautiful. I mean, look at the keyboard even. The keys are
It's
round.
round.
And look at this font. Oh, look at those letters. That's a healthy fucking dose of Y2K-ism. Whatever that means. This is actually the second version of the QR2. There was also an edition in 2000 that was pretty similar, but in black and with a fucking handle. Carry it.
Wait, what?
Carry it like baby. This version could also come with an external floppy disk drive that looked so cool and had little feet. That's so cute. It's got
Aw.
little feet that it stands on. Like, these are just such cool looking machines.
I don't want to react because he is doing everything that I want to do. I just want to Just I got feet. Man, this. I want to be this guy's friend. I low-key want to be this guy's friend. Like, oh my goodness. Why? Get off my wavelength.
Jeans. I wish they kept using this
Well, I guess like I need to get off of yours because this is your video,
reflective round.
dude. What's your name again? Joe. Jai. That. I don't know how to pronounce that. Bajuri? Bajur? Eerie. Never mind.
Edges designed for a bit longer. I would have loved to see a desktop or a monitor that looked like these. Here is my fan art for what that would have looked like. I love these, but they weren't everybody's cup of tea back then. They're so pretty, but they're still
Ooh! That is nice. I like that.
pretty big, bulky laptops
And that's okay. We like 'em thick.
that not everybody's looking for. Some people are just looking for something even bigger. Feast your eyes upon the Vio W, a desktop computer from 2002 cosplaying as a laptop. This guy is an all-in-one computer with a hinged keyboard at the bottom, a gigantic screen, speakers on each side, and RCA connectors. I can plug
What?
my Wii into this thing. Yes, you literally can.
What?
The Vio W was meant to be a solution to households that didn't have space for a computer and a TV, merging the two into one device. That might not surprise you based on the look of it. It does look like a TV somebody bolted a keyboard onto. It has many ways to do TV functions.
That is a very
It
fun-
has a DVD player, ports for RCA, and also an entire built-in TV receiver.
Wait, okay, so this is a laptop, but it's also a desktop and a TV. So hold on. What? Okay. This comes with it. So you could just take this on the go if you want to. But you can also hook it up to this for more power? Like, what is this? That's what I want to know. What is this big hulking thing that's behind it?
Player, ports for RCA, and also an entire built-in TV receiver. You could plug in your existing TV equipment or a Wii, or watch DVDs, or watch live television, all contained inside a program in Windows XP. So
That
you
is
could literally
cool.
be watching SpongeBob or Friends on this bad boy whilst playing Roller Coaster Tycoon or Neopets or whatever you ancient people did in the 90s. This big guy ran from 2002 to 2004 and came in a couple different variations. My favorite of which is this one. Because on this one, when the keyboard folds up, it'll keep the top of the screen on to show you relevant information like the time, the song you're currently playing, or wide Putin GIF. Probably. You could probably get it to do that. Another computer released
That's
around
funny.
the same time as Big Michael over here was this. The Vio U1.
That looks like the Game Boy, but computer.
You won.
A square little laptop with square little square buttons and no trackpad. No little cursor nub between the keyboard. How to control such a machine? Great question that I'm assuming you asked. This is another
Well,
Vio
now I am.
experiment to combine things together. But instead of a TV or a stereo system, this guy is half laptop, half Nintendo 3DS. You are meant to control this with your thumbs.
But
Holding
those
it
like made in
so,
like the
using your right
90s.
thumb to move the cursor and using your left thumb to hit these two buttons for left and right click. That seems like a pretty awful way to interact with the internet, Windows, clicking on things in any regard, and pretty much any activity except a Dolphin emulator with Metroid Prime for GameCube. Now that would be peak mobile engineering.
Uh-huh.
Maybe. That game did come out the exact same year as this. Someone who has one of these should try
Wait,
that.
really?
Try if you have one of these, try to run Metroid Prime for GameCube on it, please. Leave a comment if it worked or not, or if it blew up. I'm sorry if
Here, hold on. I actually am curious. Did anyone actually did it? Did anyone actually do it? Drink water? No. Laptop with the screen turned off. Please never get medicated. Oh man. Oh, let's see. Did anyone do it? Feels going to the internet. Rich uncle. Cool. Very weird. Anyway. I'm not sure if anyone actually did it. Someone
it
must
blew
have.
up.
There's
You
too
wanna
many
know
people on
another
this
device
planet
you
to not
probably
have.
couldn't play Metroid Prime on? This next one. When I was talking about a computer
Yes,
that is
the one that I'm interested
freak
in.
of nature before there, this is the one I mainly meant. Look at this thing.
It looks like it would kill aliens. I love it. That is like an item you would. That's like a drone right there that you would get in a video game, and you just plop it down, program a little like animation, and it would just shoot aliens for you. That is awesome.
Do you think God created that? This is the Vio GT, another one of Vio's sick crossbreeding experiments.
Why does his eyes look kind of like a
This
goat?
is the Vio GT, another
Like-
one of Vio.
I know it's just a reflection, but the way that it kind of cuts off make his eyes look a bit like, you know, like goats. Like it's just that weird sideways thing.
Sick crossbreeding experiments, and probably one of my favorites. This Vio machine is a laptop combined with a snack tube that can be used to store your snacks in. It's not. But did you believe me? For
I would have.
even just a second? This guy is actually a
I
laptop
actually kinda
combined with
did.
a camcorder. The oblong cylinder stuck to the side of it is a camera lens, which, along with the screen, can be rotated 360 degrees and pointed any which way. So it can be pointed up at you, or something in front of you. You can collapse it to hide the keyboard too, so all you have to look at is just your beautiful subject. Hey, what's up? I'm normal now. On the screen, if you did collapse the keyboard, there were all kinds of buttons
Oh
for
my
camera
goodness.
controls. And if you
This is
really
beautiful. This
wanted
is
to
glorious.
get fancy, it has a screw hole for all kinds of camera accessories.
Oh my goodness, please stop talking. This is beautiful. This is so beautiful. Again, why do we have stuff like this? Why can't we have nice things?
Like tripods, or mini tripods, or gorilla tripods, or yeah, I guess just pretty much tripods. Or maybe you could screw on a tube for a snack. There you go. I wasn't lying. I don't know why I want snacks on my computer so much. It would just be kind of cool. This thing is really weird though. Its purpose wasn't even for photography or home movies or funny emails or a picture of a guy drooling. It was created by Sony for a different reason. This thing came out in the year 2000 along with a brand new Sony project called Percast TV. This was like a live streaming Twitch type site, but from the year 2000, where you could directly put up a video stream of your face
Wait, so it's like YouTube before
or a
YouTube?
wedding or a weird bug, so long as you have the camera plugged directly into your computer. This was a very interesting first attempt at streaming by Sony. There were no overlays, there was no OBS. I don't even think there was a desktop video capture. I'm pretty sure you could only stream the raw video feed from your camera. It's really weird. It's a really interesting rabbit hole. As far as I know, this was the first ever attempt at live streaming video on a website over the internet. They created
Wow.
the Vio GT to be
That, man. Dude, I need this. Someone please reinvent this thing. Give it the specs it needs to, like, do actual video editing today. And that crap. Give it the specs of that, and I would buy this. It might be really expensive, but man, why don't we have this today? Why don't we have this?
Be a one-stop shop for this website, as a camera and a little XP computer all in one. So bright in my room. Forgot I was a vampire. If you want to know more about this Percast TV, I would recommend giving this video by Cathode Ray Dude a watch. He talks about everything you could ever want to know about the GT, Percast TV, and he takes the GT out on a little nature walk photography shoot. And he uses the most beautiful, tranquil music I have ever heard in a tech review video. Look at this.
That is nice.
This is another experiment from the 2000s that was not a computer. This is the Vaio Mouse Talk. It's a mouse that's also a phone. Huh? This is a mouse.
I'm guessing that's just the ball joint right there. Not ball joint, but that's like, you know, bring the thing right there. But what if you can, like, you know, actually, like, you know, move it like a ball joint? You know, just
that plugs into your computer, and when you get a call on your computer, you can unflip it and answer. Hello? Yes, I am talking to you on my computer mouse. Huh? What do you mean evicted? That's so fun. Like, what? This was part of the whole VoIP calling from back in the day. Voice over Internet Protocol. It was basically just like calling over the internet. Skype had a bit of integration with it for a bit. It never really took off once like other ways to talk over the internet came out. But there was like a little period there where people were trying to...
And then it came back as Discord and other things.
Make weird phones that plugged into a computer, and this is one of those. That's so fun. Anyways, moving on to a real computer now.
Cool.
Now, I know what you're thinking. These Vaio computers are all really cool, but I wish they made one that I could shove underneath my door. You know the MacBook Air.
Wait, what?
The laptop built with the express purpose of being the most light and thin laptop ever created, right? Well, 4 years before the MacBook Air, in 2004, Vaio made their own MacBook Air with a way shittier name. This is the Vaio X505, the thinnest laptop you could get at this point by far. It is actually fucking crazy how thin this guy is. At its thickest point, it is only 2.1 centimeters.
Oh no, wait, I need a ruler. I cannot visualize it. Where's the freaking ruler? I usually have like 5 just lying around. And of course, when I need to actually get one, I can't find it. Here, hold on. Ugh. Die. Okay, so centimeters. .1 centimeters. Wow. That is small. Like, for me, that is as big as my thumb to the first knuckle. Like the first top half of my thumb. Just that big. That's like a dime. That is small. And it had a CD player.
That's 0.82 hamburger measurement for you Americans. That's about the same thickness as a macaroni noodle, a thumbtack, this grasshopper I found in my yard. To put it in perspective, the latest Apple laptop available at that point was the iBook G4, which came out the same year and was 3.4 centimeters. It was also extremely light due to being made partially of carbon fiber, giving it such a sleek look. I love it so much. On top of being so thin, it just looks so cool too. You might think with all that thinness you'd sacrifice some performance too, but it's quite the contrary. This was apparently a very powerful computer for its time. The only drawbacks were its 2-hour battery life and the loud snapping sound you'd hear if you left it on the couch and sat on it. I don't actually know how durable these were, but it would be very especially sad if you were to break it, because to get one in the first place back in the day would have run you $3,000 USD.
Holy
Adjusted
cow.
for inflation, that's $5,000.
Holy
That
cow.
might seem like a lot.
That's as much as my car! Holy cow!
But tell me,
And it was used too. Well, that's how like most like used cars nowadays. Well, actually, I think mine was more so in like the 300, 400 range, but still. You should just buy a car at that point.
can your laptop do this? The early 2000s was such a cool era of design for Vio, where they really seemed
Man, I like just ask like okay, so just talking about him as a YouTuber. Like I just recently discovered him. Just him as a YouTuber. This is beautiful. This is glorious. I love it. Like his like I just like his humor.
to have garnered their reputation for their chic, futuristic designs. They were expensive, but they were almost always the most classy computer you could get, which kind of reminds me of a different company, you know? One with maybe a little more fruit in its logo, perhaps?
Aw,
Apple?
hell yeah, brother. I was just thinking, they remind me so much of Del Monte.
You can draw a lot of parallels of Apple to Vio. They both cost a lot of money. They
Freaking
both make
Del
very
Monte.
sleek, very innovative designs of technology. It seems like back in the day, Vio was very much the Windows equivalent of Apple computers. And I'm bringing these similarities up for a reason, because I'm not the only one to ever notice them. Steve Jobs also had an affinity for Vio computers. macOS, the operating system, is pretty iconic for only running on Apple computers. But there was a time Steve Jobs almost made one exception. In 2001, Apple decided to switch Mac processors to Intel, a decision that was very, very big at the time. In the process of doing that, they were using various Intel-based Windows computers to test and develop an Intel version of macOS. One of these computers they were using to test on was apparently a Vio laptop. According to this recollection of a former Apple employee on Quora, I know, not the most reputable of sources. Apparently, Steve Jobs liked the look and design of the Vio laptop so much, he took the internal one they had running macOS all the way to Hawaii, where some Sony executives were vacationing at the time, and showed them the first ever publicly seen Windows laptop running macOS, and made them an offer to let them ship Vio laptops running macOS. Huh? What?
What?
Like, oh my god. That just speaks volumes to the influence and the coolness of Vio's designs in this era. That Apple found them on par enough with the elegance of their own Macs to trust them with the reputation of their own Mac OS. The Sony executives ended up turning
And who
them
could
down,
blame
and
them? They're
Vio
so
laptops
innovative
have
and so
only ever run
cool.
Windows ever since. But still, like, what a crazy fever dream this could have been. We were one decision away from this. What a strange world that would have been. Anyways, on to the mid-2000s. 9/11 had come and gone. The Backyardigans had just made its premiere, and all kinds
yeah!
of computer companies were working on how to get
I actually never grew up watching the Backyardigans, but still. R.I.P. mate.
computers to fit into some jean pockets. Vio, however, was the only one to successfully shove one in there. What I mean by this is every
What?
computer manufacturer was trying to make smaller and smaller versions of computers, with things like Blackberries, Palm OS computers,
I need to start
Windows
doing
mobile
more
phones.
commentary.
There were all kinds of attempts and experiments in this era with how to take a computer completely mobile in your hand. And Vio was right in there with everybody in this era, creating all kinds of weird and unique experiments of computers. Like this one, right here. Or wait, no. Or is that just
That looks like a microwave.
a piece of aluminum? Or no, it is. That is an entire computer. This is the Vio U50.
That's the front of a
from
microwave.
2005. Vio's first attempt at a small little computer that you could take on the go with you. And it kind of looks like shit. It's a fine little micro computer.
I mean,
it was Vio's
yeah.
first attempt at making something without a keyboard. But did it have to look like
I mean, like, yeah, it looks like the front of a microwave or like a heart monitor. I could just like stick the cord to my chest and I could see my heart beating.
that? I really don't like this thing. Pretty much the only reason I'm bringing this thing up at all is because I hate the design of it so much. This is the same company that made this, and this, and the one with the tube. I don't know. Maybe electronics that look like iron ingots were just in style in 2005. I was only 4. But I just think they could make a mini
Yeah, very
computer
fair.
that has a little more sauce to it. And thank God they thought so too. Because 2 years later, in 2007, they made this. The VAIO UX.
Oh yeah, they talk about that in the past video, or he did.
This is very clearly a distant relative of the VAIO U50, building on the foundation it set and actually consulting the design team this time. This thing is so nice. This is my favorite VAIO device of the entire video. If you've seen my other video about cell phones of the 2000s, you might have heard me talk about this thing before, and if you haven't seen that video, go watch it. Go watch it, maybe. Or don't. It's okay. But I'm bringing it up here, too,
Okay,
because
Ron
it's one of the
Weasley.
most iconic devices in
Chill,
the
mate.
entire VAIO lineage. I love this thing. Oh my god, look at how bright my stuffies are. Oh my god, they're white.
Yeah, I know.
I can't see. I forgot it was a vampire. The UX was, again, meant to be a full desktop Windows experience that you can take on the go with you. It, like its little brother, has zoom buttons, a cursor nub, a touchscreen, but this one slides up like
Heck yeah.
like phone. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. That's just so cool to me. Slidey cell phones are already one of the coolest things in tech. Having an electronic go from one form to another is just so cool. You could also dock it in a little dock with full peripherals and a monitor attached,
Oh,
so it could
that's
be kind of like a
cool.
little Windows XP Nintendo Switch. This was a really neat device. The UX was the last of the
Again! How many times must I say it? Things were just cooler back then!
U lineup. After 2007 and the release of the iPhone, most experiments of mini pocketable computers like these went by the wayside in favor of smaller, less capable touchscreen devices instead. But they did make one
Yeah.
last
Boo.
weird experimental computer in
Boo.
2009 with the VAIO Type P. What now? The Type P was a little tiny computer kind of similar to the original VAIO C1 we talked
Oh,
about
that's
earlier. It's a
sweet.
little rectangle computer with no trackpad, just a cursor nub, a widescreen display that was apparently pretty high resolution, all in a form factor that fits nicely into your ass
game
pocket.
is
This
fun.
is a real image from the marketing.
It oh my goodness. Do it with a man's pocket or like a purse or something. It like because girls' pockets are the bane of everyone's existence. Oh man, I do not need to be reminded on how lame my pockets are.
They
I do
wanted you
not
to
need
put
to be
this in your ass
reminded.
pocket. This thing was a part of the whole netbook movement. Remember that? There is a chance you were perhaps born the same year that the term netbook was coined. So if that's the case, I'll give you a quick little recap. Netbooks were basically smaller, less expensive, and less powerful laptops. They
So a
were meant for
Chromebook.
more basic things like Googling or Facebooking or spider solitaring, along with being more portable than a bigger laptop. The VAIO Type P was meant to be a netbook that you took with you. You saw it, it fits right in your ass pocket. It had GPS, full 3G SIM card support. It had a custom XMB menu, like on the PS3, to more quickly swap between songs or media on the go. It was meant to be used for
Oh,
all
that's
of the
cool.
things that you would use your smartphone for today. Except everyone was already using their smartphones for all of those things back then too. The iPhone, by this point, had already been out for 2 years, and smartphones at large were only getting more and more capable. Again, like I talked about with the UX a whole bunch, I love this thing. It is such a cool...
What they should do, they should just make this into a phone. Make this into a slidey phone with a touchscreen. That's what they should do. Like, just have like, modern, modern touchscreen phone, but have the slider keypad. That's what they should do.
looking little hard candy shell device. I would have definitely loved to have one of these guys back in the day. The idea of having an itty bitty little computer running desktop Windows that you just take around with you everywhere is a really cool idea. But by 2009, when the Type P came out, not many people were in need of an ultra mobile computer like this anymore. That, paired with the fact that apparently these didn't run that well, made not a lot of people give the Type P a try. And that made Sony not really want to give any more experimental Vios a try. Because this is the last cool and unique Vio computer they ever made. By the early 2010s, it seems like Vio was a shell of the company they used to be. They still made computers, but after the Type P, they never made any cool or experimental computer again. Any of the mainline computers they did make are fine. These are all passable computers, but none of them are cool. I would never make a video dedicated to any of these. At this point in the early 2010s, they were kind of just another generic laptop manufacturer like any other. And that's probably a big reason why in 2014, Sony decided to sell 95% of the Vio company to private equity firm Japan Industrial Partners. From there, as a standalone company, they made a few laptops. They tried to make Windows phones for a bit and a couple Windows 8 tablets. But really, these are just generic laptops with the Vio logo slapped on there. Squiggly letter reflections of a time gone by. In 2024, Japan Industrial Partners announced they were selling their portion of Vio to the company Najima Co. And today, they continue to just make normal-ass, generic laptops in gray, black, and dark white with nothing special about them. So what happened here? How did this crazy, amazing company who made all of this cool stuff over here, loved by computer enthusiasts and even the likes of Steve Jobs, to becoming just another gray, bleak computer manufacturer completely abandoned by Sony? Why did they stop making cool things? Well, of course, who knows for sure? Not me. I'm having enough trouble as it is just keeping the facts of these computers straight. But I do have a few ideas. First off is money. Almost all of the computers that I've talked about today all costed over $1,000 US. That's a lot of money today. Back then, that was even more of an amount of money. Money that not everybody wants to dish out for a computer. And that's the other reason, I think, for their downfall, is excitement for computers. In the late 90s and early 2000s, computers were the new booming thing. They were getting crazier and crazier with each passing year. And there were people excited enough about them to buy crazy $2,000 stereo computers. As the years went on and
man, I'll keep saying it. Just reinvent the wheel. Reinvent the wheel. Just boot up some of these old systems. Make them more powerful, but at the same time, more affordable. That's gonna be hard to do. I know. Trust me, I know. But if there's a way to do so, man, I honestly think people would buy it. Simply because it is different. It's so more different than what we have today. Like, it's more different than these bricks, these glass bricks, these glass panes that we just have on our desk. Like, they're just the plain block that is the PC. It's just so much more different. And like that's what that's what is missing in the modern market, is that it's no longer competitive. It's no longer customary. Like it used to. Like, each freaking company has their own kind of custom, like as you said before, gimmick to it. Something that makes them uniquely them. But now it's like, oh yeah, we all do the same thing, but what makes it special is, like, we have programs that only, are available on this, like, device, and you have to pay a subscription for it. That's not special, that is swindling.
Computer progress and all-around excitement decreased. I would assume less people were willing to splurge such high amounts of money on weird, novel computers. The last reason for their decline, I think, is just placement of resources. Vio was the name all of these computers went under, but at the end of the day, it was Sony pulling all the strings and making all the decisions here. They could have transitioned Vio into a smartphone company when that boom started, but they had other companies already to make smartphones under. Ultimately, Vio was Sony's computer company, and computers, especially cool, expensive computers by the 2010s, just weren't in fashion anymore. That's the reasons, I think, for why Vio eventually stopped making all of this crazy stuff. But I don't know for sure. I'm not some company analyst. I'm just some guy who really likes the look of these now 30-year-old computers. Today, at least to me, they're kind of just this mysterious idea that you see echoes of in media and futuristic collages. Echoes
I keep
of
seeing like something
that you see echoes of
that
in
looks
media
like
and
Yeah, freaking Among Us right there.
Futuristic collages. Echoes of a different time when the idea of what a computer was still unfolding. When the future could have gone in any direction. And when you could have a mouse that was also a phone. Thank you so much for watching my 30-minute video about me yapping about computers from almost 2 decades ago.
Welcome,
I really
mate.
appreciate it. What do you think about all of these weird, strange devices, though? Were you around back then? Did you own and use one of these guys back in the day? Or
I
are
wish
you
I
like
did.
me and never lived through their existence and just think they're neat? Whatever the case may be, if you have any thoughts at all, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear about any and all Vio things. I read every single comment up to about like 4 days after the video's out, then it's like every 7th comment, but still quite a bit. Have such a lovely evening, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
But yeah, oh my goodness. I don't like that, so I'm gonna hide it. Boom. Now we've just got clear skies. But yeah. Man. Chat, where are you when I need you? I need to rant about cool tech with you, mate. Where are you, chat? But yeah, yeah, it's the week end after Thanksgiving. Not Thanksgiving. Man, it's 2026. And it's the first Saturday afterwards, and plus I already did a stream earlier this week. So that's probably why there isn't like a lot of people here today. Plus this isn't like Undertale Yellow. My biggest thing was Undertale Yellow. And so yeah, it's kind of like who cares what I do now? But yeah. I didn't know what to do. All I can think about is just old tech. That I've been in an old tech rave for a bit. And man, oh man. If only I was born just a little bit earlier. If only to actually witness and cherish this. Man, but like that camera computer. Holy cow. Why doesn't Black Magic have something like that? Like that is so cool. Or like freaking Apple. Like, at this point, I kinda think that like Apple or someone should buy Vio and just to have the rights to remake those tech. Because they're awesome. They're so innovative. They're so cool. They got like all these gimmicks, all these gadgets. They can twist, they can turn, they can flip open. They have buttons. It's just so cool. And now we're just in an era where everything has to be like sleek, clean. And it's like, it's kind of what I like said earlier about envisioning the future. And man, I don't like the modern vision of the future. I mean, it's cool, but it's too clean. It's too predictable at the moment. Like, where is my jacket that has freaking straw, like noodle straws for the sleeves? Where is that? Where is my freaking, like, out of pockets, my weirdly designed phone that just works because it does? Like, oh my goodness. But yeah, I just wanted to, like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. This is just what it came to my mind, and I really have a strong appreciation, like, nowadays for retro stuff. And I think it's, like, you know, yeah, like, so much so that, like, I want to kind of go back. Like, I miss the days where technology just did one thing and one thing only. Like a computer. like computers back in the day, you didn't call, you did emails. You can play video games, but those were computer video games. Like, you go to computer to look at the internet. You go to computer to, like, you know, do videos, to, like, burn discs and such, to, like, do homework, to do work. You go to computer to, like, do that stuff. And, like, you go to the console to play video games. And then you go, like, to your iPod mini to listen to music. But now everything's just, like, in this one space, in this one box. And then you got, like, these people who's just putting in more stuff, like freaking bloatware. And it's just, like, I just want my computer to be work. And I want my console to be games. And I want my phone to be for my friends. I want that separation. I want my phone. Like, I want, like, you know, my spaces to be what they should be. Not just everything, and I have to make it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I miss that being so easy. But anyways, yeah, if you're just tuning in now or later, whatever, either way, I hope you're having a good day, and I thank you for just looking at old tech with me. Just good old Y2K junk. And, well, it's not junk. It's like junk in a good way, you know? Like, it's just junk as in it's stuff. You know what I'm saying? But either way, thank you for watching. And I hope you have a good day. And I hope that this year would be a good year for you if it wasn't last year. And yeah, Happy New Year! It's 2026. Woo! Yeah. Yeah. Thank you again for watching. May the Lord bless you and guide you. This has been Mysterious Maiden, signing off.